All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here, and welcome to another Q&A video. And it's been a while since I've done one, but now that I started streaming and have this thing called YouTube members, which you could join, it's kind of like a Twitch subscription to channels, just that in YouTube form. I'll be able to do a lot more because I'm gonna have specific questions from the YouTube members from now on for the Q&A videos. So expect one maybe once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks instead of once every couple of months. But I do want to give a huge shout out to this beast named Flint Lockwood, because Flint Lockwood subscribed with the Lord Boon Tier membership for $100. I made that as a joke because I'm like, I just want to have something that says Lord Boon that's like crazy that no one will ever subscribe to. And Flint Lockwood actually becomes the first Lord Boon Tier member. What a maniac. So shout out to Flint Lockwood. Also, a couple of tier 3 subs I want to give a shout out to. Marek, Solecki, and SG SmiledShrimp. Tier 3 subs. I have to shout them out in a video. So let's get started here with some of the questions. By the way, if anyone wants to become a member, it just says, like in the bottom of the player, it just says join. You just press join and you click what subscription you want to, do. All right, I'm actually going to go in order here. I haven't read any of these questions, so I'm not really prepared to answer them. But that's the magic of editing. All right, so Celestia Ludenberg. Celestia Ludenberg. Do you support the LGBT community? Have you ever watched Flavor of Love? Oh my God. I used to watch the second one. I used to watch Flavor of Love all the time. I thought it was really, really funny. Flavor Flav. I even, had like a little prop chain with like a clock on it. I think everyone at some point in their childhood tried to imitate the Flavor Flav clock chain. Who are you hoping to be in Kombat Pack 3? Okay. They're asking a lot of questions. So I don't know if I'll be able to answer all of them, but the first one, do I support the LGBT community? Yes, I do. I believe that anyone should be able to pretty much do whatever they want without having to be judged. As long as it's not hurting somebody, as long as it's not illegal, everyone has the right to do what they love to do, love who they love to love, be whoever they want to be. That's always been my belief. And so I definitely support the LGBT community. Let's see, what other questions? Kombat Pack 3. Okay, I'll skip over that just because maybe someone else will ask it. Who are you hoping to see in Injustice 3? Dr. Manhattan is the #1 character that I want to see. And they said mine is Enchantress, but it's okay. Love your videos. Thank you so much, Celestia Ludenberg, for the questions. All right, so Samuel Ritchie. Now that Shiva isn't cheap, can you play her? Her combos are fun. Yes, I actually do want to play Shiva again because I do find her to be fun. It's just that she's really, really not popular on YouTube. Even before she started getting infamous for spamming the stomp was actually really good. Like, the controlled stomp was insanely good. It's mostly because of the giant hitbox that it had. So the way to avoid it was just to walk back and just keep walking back unless the person reads that you're going to walk back, and then they choose the stomp like behind you. But the hitbox was so big that a lot of times it would like suck you into her stomp. And now they nerfed the hitbox. They nerfed the timing. So yeah, I actually found Shiva to be a lot of fun to play, but she's just not popular on YouTube. So my thinking is always, I want to upload videos that people want to watch. So whenever people don't watch the Shiva videos, I'm like, I could have spent that time recording somebody else. But I do definitely want to play some Shiva, at least 2 videos very soon, because I like her March cancel, and I like some of the combos she does. Call Me Johnny asks, what team would you like to see win this NBA season, and what team would you realistically think would win? Oh my God. Of course, the team that I want to see win is the Los Angeles Clippers, because the Los Angeles Clippers are my team. I've been a fan of the Clippers since the Lob City days. Actually, you know what? Not even since the Lob City days. I used to be a Clipper fan when Lamar Odom was on the team, Elton Brand, Quentin Richardson. That was a really, really exciting team. And Corey Maggette was an awesome player. So I've been a fan of the Clippers for a while, but I started more rooting for players. And I still kind of root for players more. Like Giannis is my favorite basketball player at the moment. So although I'm not a Bucks fan, I want the Bucks to, make it to the finals. I want them to do really well because I'm a Giannis fan. So the same thing happened in the late to mid 2000s. It was mid to late 2000s when I became an insanely huge Phoenix Suns fan, because Steve Nash was my favorite player at the time, because I just found him to be so entertaining to watch. He could shoot, he could pass, he had handles, and the team was really exciting, the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns. So from 2005 to 2000 and maybe 11 when Steve Nash left Phoenix, or 2012, I was like, Phoenix was my team, and they got screwed over a couple times by the whole, I think his name is Tim Donaghy, the ref, in the 2007 playoffs versus the San Antonio Spurs. But they also had chances, and they, ended up choking a couple of times. But this year, I want the Clippers to win. Last year, I wanted them to win. They had the biggest choke in NBA history, blowing a 3-1 lead in the semifinals. So realistically, I think Brooklyn has the best chance to win, because that three-headed monster of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving is ridiculous. So I think they have the best chance to win, but I want my Clippers to win. All right, Hymus Fitzpatrick. If you could make an all-star game and could add anybody you wanted, for example, Rick and Morty, Scorpion, Batman, Iron Man, Kobe, etc., who would the roster consist of for this true all-star game? So he's talking about like PlayStation all-star stuff, where they brought in a bunch of PlayStation properties and they put a bunch of characters in it. Superman has to be in there. I think Batman has to be in there for DC. I would take Wolverine and Spider-Man for Marvel. And as far as other games, Samus would be cool. I love Samus. I think the Metroid series is one of my favorite of all time. Super Metroid might be my favorite video game of all time in general. And I couldn't really think of other characters right now, but Samus would be a non-Marvel DC character that I would want to see in a fighting game that isn't Smash Brothers, of course. But I would have to think a little bit more about that. Just Lewis asks, if Injustice 3 comes to fruition, who do you believe will be the main villain, and do you think Netherrealm will bring back Joker? Yeah, actually, you know what? Joker came back because of sort of the imagination sequences that Harley Quinn was having, right? Because he's dead. But I think that a possibility for Injustice 3 is to do the bring in Dr. Manhattan to fuck with time and fuck with reality, like they did with I forgot the comic book series that literally came out, Doomsday Clock, where he's kind of fucking with the timelines. I think that's the next step, because what else are they gonna do? I mean, Brainiac ship does have a ton of different universes, so they could do that multi-universe kind of thing. But it would be cool to bring in Dr. Manhattan and do something similar to what the Doomsday Clock had, where he was manipulating reality. I think that would be awesome. Not only because I want to see Dr. Manhattan, but because with reality manipulation, you could literally put any character in the game and it wouldn't matter. Billy Batson could come back as Shazam and no one would say anything because it's reality manipulation. So Dr. Manhattan being like the main villain would be awesome. YouTube Good Games asked, do you think that Injustice 3 will be debunked because of the Injustice movie coming out? No, I actually think that Injustice 3 might have a better chance of making it, or of being the next Netherrealm game because of the Injustice movie coming out. Yadada Man Fool, or Yadada Mean Fool asks, do you think since WB is selling some of their studios, they will make a super gory Injustice movie? That's actually an interesting question, because there's a lot of messed up things that happen in the Injustice story. Like Superman, well, I don't know if I want to go into like spoilers just in case anyone has ever seen it, but you know, Superman doing what he does while he's under the influence, and then of course what he does to Joker and what he does to poor Billy Batson. There's a lot of gory things and, like, you know, definitely mature things that happen in the Injustice story that it would make sense for them to have a gorier version. But these are still comic book characters, you know, they're still protected. Billy Batson is a little boy. So I don't know if they would go that far in making a gory Injustice, but I definitely think they should make a gorier Injustice, or, you know, animated movie than they normally would, because it would fit the timeline. It would fit like the Injustice story. All right, my friend Smoke, shout out to Smoke. Do you think there will be a Kombat Pack 3, or is NRS completely done with MK11? My opinion, I think they are done. Yep, I also think they are done with DLC characters. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to believe it, but I think at this point they are already like deep into production for their next game. Whether it's going to be Injustice 3, whether it's going to be Marvel versus DC, I'm pretty sure the big studios would have gotten word about the possibility of what happens, you know, with WB Games sort of putting the companies under their umbrella out there to be sold, or, you know, the potential of that happening. I'm sure they got word of it. And there's also another rumor that like Marvel is looking to buy, I think DC or like WB game. I don't remember what it was, but it was something with DC. So if a Marvel versus DC game were to happen, you know, that's definitely a prime opportunity right there, for Marvel and DC to collab, with Marvel just eating up DC. That would definitely be interesting. But I definitely think that Mortal Kombat 11 DLC is pretty much over with. I know I'm gonna break a lot of people's hearts because a lot of people love MK11. I love it too, but I honestly, truthfully, 100% sincere, I am ready to move on to the next game. I love the game. I think the roster is amazing. It started off as like a decent roster, but with DLC additions, it's become an amazing roster. The gameplay is still fun when I play the game sparingly, but I am ready to move on to the next project. No matter if it's a Marvel versus DC game or if it's Injustice 3, I'm ready to move on. And I think Netherrealm will keep updating the game with patches, or maybe there will be one final patch like with MKX or MKXL, whatever. The last patch was like in September, somewhere around there. So I think we will see one final huge patch that will probably make MK11 like amazing, because they always do that. The final patch always leaves the game in a really, really good state. But I'm ready to move on. All right, Arrow Key asks, is it possible that you could do a Big Daddy Con Shao Kahn video in the future. I actually did an entire stream pretty much playing with Shao Kahn, so I'll probably play a little bit more with him just recording wise. But yeah, Shao Kahn was a lot of fun to play. All right, Just Lewis, I already answered one of his questions. Mr. Nervous 98 or Mr. Novexus 98 asks, can you make a guide or tips and tricks for MK11? It's been some time since the release of the game. I don't know. My basic character tutorials are like pretty much the only tutorials that I would do for MK11, because there's people out there who can explain like the very basics and just like the ins and outs of the game a lot better than I can. So if you are like starting MK11 and want to get better, I definitely suggest you search up on YouTube basic tutorials or whatever. I got you covered with like the basic character tutorials, but as far as like just tips and tricks for MK11, I'll definitely recommend searching that up, because I don't know if I want to upload those, because I don't know if I could explain things in a decent way like I could for MKX, just because I don't have as much experience playing the game. So next up here, Justin asks, hey Super, I love your content. I was just wanted to know if you had plans to make streaming a permanent part of your schedule, and will you be setting time for Xbox and PlayStation so both get a chance to join? Sorry if it's been answered already. So yes, Justin, I think I want to stream at least once a week. If I'm feeling good, then twice a week. But I think once a week is perfect, because I also want to record videos that don't involve stream highlights, because I feel like just uploading stream highlights will get very repetitive. It's just kind of lazy. There's a different vibe between streaming commentary and recording commentary, because streaming commentary, it's kind of like more you're talking with the chat. You still have that same feeling when you're actually playing the game and commentating, but you're sort of on. I'm saying that in like air quotes. You're sort of on from the first second you speak to the final sentence you say on the stream, saying, all right, I'll see you guys later. You're kind of on, because as a content creator, you have to have a performing voice, like a voice that's different from your normal voice. I don't sound like the same as I do in videos all the time. My voice sounds the same, but when I make videos, I have to project more excitement. I have to project more, I have to sort of, like I said before, be over the top with some things, If I get pissed at something, I have to be over the toply pissed, or if I get excited, I have to sound like I'm, busting or something, you know what I mean? So when you stream, you have to be that the whole time, and it gets draining over the course of a couple hours, for me at least, because I'm not really used to it. When I'm recording, I'm chilling, like I turn it on and off. When I'm in the game, I'm like, all right, we do the commentary, we're playing, having fun. When I finish the match, I just lay back waiting for the next match. I'm texting, or I'm just checking Instagram, checking social media. And it's a lot easier to maintain that high level for like a longer period of time, because I'm taking my breaks. But when you're streaming, you can't really do that. You have to be on 24/7, as long as like the mic is on, So there's a different vibe to the streaming content and the recording content. So I definitely want to keep the recording content as much as I can. But the streams are really fun, because I get to play with people who watch my videos, all you guys. So once a week is like a perfect amount, like the minimum amount that I want to try to do. Harambe the Luffy asks, what do you use to record and live stream your content? I use the Elgato HD60S to record, and I use an internal Elgato capture card in inside one of my computer rigs to stream. I got two because if I use only one to both stream and record, I don't think I could even do that, but it would be very, very hard on my computer. But, you know, changing up, I record like my normal footage with the HD60S. It gives me like really good quality. I like the color correction that I put on it, and it's very, very easy. You just download the Elgato software. I still use the Elgato software to record videos. You just press record and that's it. There are some audio problems that I run into sometimes, some hiccups, but I've tried to do everything to fix it. I can't fix it, so I just ignore it. But when I stream, I feel like the capture card has to be a little bit more powerful, so that's why I got the HD60 Pro, I think it is. It's not the HD60 Pro, like, it's not the top one. It's like the one below that, because I don't need it to be like insanely powerful. I just needed to record a solid 60 frames per second. I needed it to run really well, and I have that one connected internally in my computer, and that's what I use to stream. And the recording is just very easy. It's just HD60S. So whenever I stream with XSplit, because I find that XSplit is a lot smoother than the other one, the free one. I forgot what the hell it's called. But XSplit I really like. It's very, very easy to use. You could flip scenes very easily. I just got used to it since back in 2017. So XSplit is what I use to stream, and then I record with Elgato. So whenever I am streaming, I am also recording in the background with my Elgato. And that's the reason why I have two computers, one only for editing and one only for streaming, because it takes a lot of computer power to stream and record at the same time. So I need something that's only dedicated to that, because it also takes a lot of computer power to render out videos. So when I used to only have one computer, doing everything with just one computer would run the computer down really fast. So now that I have the two split, you know, I have one computer only dedicated for streaming, recording, one only dedicated for editing. My computers have been just perfect. Like, I've had the same computers for like 2 years. And before, when I started streaming, my computer would start getting a lot slower and choppy within the first year. So that's been a really good investment that I've made, buying the two computer rigs. All right, Waffles asks, why isn't Ferritor an MK11? I don't know, man. I don't know if Netherrealm has a harder time animating monster characters, like the big characters, or what, but I feel like there should definitely be more in their games, because they always do a really good job with like huge monster characters like Goro, Ferritor. I do want to see Motaro in at some point. It would be really interesting to see how they would handle Motaro. And I think that's it. Let's see, two more questions down here from Yadada Mean Fool. My other question is, when will you post non-fighting games? I think the last time that I posted non-fighting games was my Resident Evil 3 remake playthrough, because Resident Evil 3 is my favorite Resident Evil of all time. Whenever they remake Resident Evil 4, I'll probably be doing that. I wasn't too interested, honestly, in the newer Resident Evils. I'm more of like an old school guy. I like what I like. I don't like trying new things too much. And it's probably a detriment on my part. But I like what I like. You know, if they remake Resident Evil 4, I'll be doing that. Whenever something pops up that I like, I'll be playing that. But honestly, the only video games that I play are fighting games. I just play Mortal Kombat games and Injustice, Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that's it. So I don't know when I'm going to play non-fighting game stuff. And last question from YouTube Good Games. He asks, I would like a Shao as well. Oh, I guess he would like me to play Shao Kahn as well. All right, so we got down here, Just Lewis. He has another question. Which character in Injustice 2 would you be happy to upload videos on next? Black Adam, Firestorm, Sub-Zero, Darkseid, or the Flash. Well, I already uploaded Darkseid. I think Firestorm might be a character that I look into again, because a lot of people have a problem with Firestorm being such an amazing zoning character, but man, he has offense. He has like mix-ups, he has damage. I feel like Firestorm is an exciting character to watch, but since his zoning is so good with the low puddle and the straight projectile, a lot of people just use that. But if you see high level Firestorm players, they're restanding you with the lava, and then they're mixing you left and right. You know, they're using a lot of his tools on offense. But there weren't too many Firestorm players out there, because there was just other characters that did what Firestorm did, just that better. But I'll definitely look into Firestorm, playing a little bit more with him when I record some more Injustice. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching today's Q&A video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's always fun to answer these questions. I will see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you aren't subscribed already, make sure you guys do so. And if you want to see some more, there's videos popping up on the screen right now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.